Tenses made easy. Tenses made easy sounds like something already heard. Of course you're right, because we have already covered part 1 and this is part 2, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this is part 2 and I'm going to try my best to make it less boring for you, but if it is, forgive me. I would require your apologies definitely, because this is grammar and of course it could be boring sometime, but do not take it that way. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel Father 007. I'm here with you today. I'm Adnan Ayaz and we're going to talk about tenses again today, part 2. The first thing we're going to discuss about is present indefinite. We all know that we had discussed present indefinite. No, we hadn't discussed present indefinite or any tenses in detail, but rather we had done all the tenses with one and only sentence: I eat food. Isn't that so? If you have already watched my video previously, this is going to be the second video that you would really need to have, or that you would require to learn more. But if you haven't watched that already, keep that in mind. You have to go through the first video, watch that first, and then come to this one, and it is going to help you more and more. Let's see what we have in present indefinite tense. Let me tell you that first there are some people who may call this tense as present simple as well. Well, do not worry, this tense can have both the names, present simple or present indefinite. Again, one more thing I can let you know, that some people might call it that there is a difference between present simple and present indefinite. Well, you know, they're right, they're correct, but we really don't want to discuss that right now in this video. We have some other more important stuff to do. Let's jump to the topic. Present indefinite. Where do we use present indefinite, ladies and gentlemen? Here we have on the right side. Present indefinite is used for daily routines, right? Whatever you do in your daily life, just pick a sentence out of it and you will find out that that is a sentence that is describing your daily routine. Let me pick mine. I wake up at 6 o'clock, right? Is that true? Well, that's another matter. I take breakfast, I eat breakfast, I have my breakfast at what time do I take it? Well, I take my breakfast at 7 o'clock. All right, this is something that is explaining daily routine of mine. So can you give me one sentence of yours that could describe your daily routine? This is number 1. Let's talk about number 2 here. Universal truths. All the facts, all the truths that are universal and that are true and that cannot be changed. For example, the sun rises. Let me take it slow. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. That is a universal truth. Truth, and it cannot be denied or it cannot be rejected. So we use present indefinite for this tense as well. Number 3, general facts. What is a fact? General or scientific facts. That could be both the same. For example, water boils at 100 Celsius. Well, that's a fact. That's a general fact. And of course, that is a scientific fact. So for things like that, we again use present indefinite tense. Next thing is we have here, where is my cursor? Here we go. Schedules or schedules, both are the same pronunciation. Different pronunciation for the same word. Schedules or schedules. We also use it for schedules. For example, my class starts at 7 p.m. right? The train leaves at 4 a.m. This is a schedule. So we use this tense for schedule, timetable, and of course all the kind of schedules in the world can be described by present indefinite tense. I hope a little bit information and usage of present indefinite is quite helpful. There are more usages. There can be like around 11 usages of this tense, but believe me, you don't want to know that. Maybe you might be a beginner or someone. So this is going to be enough for you. Let's go through the examples. Here we go. We have to keep in mind that we have to focus on three parts, three kinds of sentences: affirmative, negative, and then interrogative. And then we have to go for the formula, the form, the structure, whatever you may call it. Keep that in mind. This is very important. This tense actually, I'm being very hasty. This tense can take more time, and it may be a little bit problematic for you to understand, but with the passage of time, with your practice more and more, you can have a grip over it. You can control this, you can overcome it. All right, let's talk about what we have verb forms and what subject do we use and what do we do with this tense. First of all, we have divided it into two categories. First category is, if you guys remember, I have already talked about this, that try to remember. If I have got a video on pronouns, if you haven't watched that video, go watch it, and in which I have already mentioned how to learn the pronouns. All right, I'm just going to tell you how. Keep the sequence of pronouns in your mind: I, we, you, they, and then he, she, it. This is what we have already done here: I, we, you, they, and the second category is he, she, it. We're going to talk about this one first. The first category, it uses subject, verb, base form. Okay, another thing, if you haven't talked about, if you don't know about what base form of verb is or what first form is, go on, watch another video of mine after this one. Not now, just listen to this one. Okay, we use subject, base form of verb, and object. For example, I, we, you, they, eat food, eat, and food. No changes here at all. Negative, subject, don't, verb, base form, object. I, we, you, they don't eat food. Number 3, do. This is interrogative. Do plus subject plus verb base form plus object plus question mark. Some people forget to put this question mark at the end. Well, do write it down at the end. Example: do I, we, you, they eat food? With all of them, we're going to use the same verb form, base form, and no changes at all. This is quite easy, no confusions at all. But this one can be a little tricky. Subject, see, now we can tell you what the difference is. Subject plus verb base form plus ses or ies. How you're going to use that will be described in the over here. And object then. And then we have got in the negative, we've got subject, doesn't, verb base form, object. Interrogative, does plus subject plus base verb form plus object plus question mark. Let's go to the examples. Look at the example. He, she, it. We're going to use eats food. With eat, we are going to add s over here. When we're talking about some verb ending with on the consonant or something like that. Simple. That is a discussion that can be discussed later. That can be done later. But we won't talk about it. So we are going to use s, he, she, it eats food. He, she, it washes clothes. He, she, it fries onions. Not onions, onions. In negative, he, she, it doesn't eat food. He, she, it doesn't wash clothes. He, she, it doesn't fry onions. Say, in affirmative sentences, we had to add s, es, or ies. On the contrary, we're not going to use anything with these verbs. Rather, we're going to add this es thing over here, and it was don't over here, which turned into doesn't here. All right, all the changes are applied here. Just keep in mind that you have to change doesn't. In negative, you need to just change this word only, this helping verb, and no other changes. Everything else remains the same. Next one, does he, she, it eat food? Does he, she, it wash clothes? Does he, she, it fry onions? Say, no changes to this form at all. No change at all. If you compare this one, with this sentence, you won't find anything unnatural and different between both this and this, except for this. Do. Here we are going to use do, and here we need to use does. And why did we use does? Yes, that's a good question. Actually, you didn't ask me, did you? Well, we use does because of these things, he, she, it. Because of these pronouns, we have to use does. And similarly, here we use doesn't because of these pronouns. Again, we use yes, this s, es, ies, just because of these pronouns. So it's them, not me. Okay, they are making things complicated. It's not me. Okay, it's not my fault, ladies and gentlemen. This is not my fault. Okay, so this is because of them. We have to change the verb forms. Yeah, we have to change, and add do some addition to it. I hope this one's clear. Okay, I think this much explanation is quite enough for this tense, isn't it? If you have a confusion, do let me know in the comment box below, of course. Next one, we have another tense, that is present continuous tense. First, we're going to talk about the usages. What are the usages of present continuous? Let me tell you, present continuous can also be called as present progressive tense as well. Did you hear something? I was trying to have something. On number one usage, things that are happening now. What do you think is happening right now? I'm talking to you, you listen to me. That is what is happening right now at the moment. This is usage number one. Number two, temporary events. Temporary events. What is it? Temporary event, something that is going to happen temporarily, or not continuously or permanently. For example, I am learning French these days. I'm learning French these days. You get it, right? I'm learning French these days. This is not going to be permanent. This is not going to happen permanently forever. I'm just going to do it for a while, for some time, and then I'm going to leave it. That's it. So this is called temporary switch. Let go. Let's go for the next one. Where is it? Number three usage, fixed plans in the near future. We are moving to will be something like permanent. Okay, we are going to Islamabad for vacations. That could work. We have made this plan and we are going to do that. So we are going to Islamabad for vacations. For vacation, you get it. So this is a fixed action, fixed plan. Another one, repeated actions. There must be a few actions that you might be repeating every day, or you might be getting scolded because of those. For example, I'm always late in the class, so my teacher tells me, you are always coming late. Why are you always coming late to the class? So this is something like a repeated action. We use to describe this in present continuous tense, of course. Okay, we can also use that for repeated actions. You get it? If something is continuously happening again and again, over and over again, you can use this tense to describe that action. Okay, I hope this one's clear. This one is quite clear. Next one. Now we have it. What do we have here? Trends. Right, the trends. There are different trends setting every year, almost every year, in different things. For example, more and more people are doing what? Yes, are using computers for listening to music. More and more people are using computers to listen to music. Okay, so this is a trend, something like that. All right, without further delay, we want to move on to this side of this. Again, we have got three kinds of sentences here: affirmative, negative, and interrogative. Subject, they will form the structure of this, or the formula is subject plus ismr plus verb ing. We use ing with verb. Okay, with this we means verb. Okay, and we can only use ing form with the first form, with the base form of the verb. Okay, with the base form of the verb, not any other. I hope this one is clear. So this is verb base form, and then ing with it, and then object. Subject in the negative, subject isn't, aren't, plus verb ing plus object. And the interrogative is mr, subject is MR plus subject. Here we need to add subject, plus sign over here that I missed. So is MR plus subject plus verb ing plus object plus this question mark here. I hope this one's clear. Let's go to the example. I, we, you, they. With I, we are going to use am eating food. We, you, they are eating food. He, she, it is eating food. With this one, I aren't negative. We can also say I am not eating food, but it will not be wrong, of course. But I wanted you to know something, that the contraction form of I am not, actually am not, is aren't, except for the literature part or the poetry side where people use ain't, or maybe informal English. I ain't gonna do that, man. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't coming, man. You must have seen some nigger, I don't mean to offend anybody, some people like use such language. I ain't coming, man. I ain't gonna do that, bro. So that is informal. It is, on one side it is informal, on the other hand it is literary. We don't use that in spoken English. All right, do you get it? We use I aren't eating food. We, you, they aren't eating food. He, she, it isn't eating food. I hope this one's clear too. Okay, why am I changing my accent? Anyways, next to the interrogative is MR plus subject. Am I eating food? Are we, you, they eating food? He, and then is he, she, it eating food? I hope this sentence is clear to you. Just have a look, pause the video. If you have a question, you can post it right now. You get it. Let's move on to the next tense. Present perfect tense. Where do we use it? Present perfect tense. It's perfect, okay? Let's talk about the usage first. Recently completed actions. Recently completed actions. Wow, what is that? Let me think of that. Okay, the first usage of present perfect tense is, ladies and gentlemen, is recently completed actions. For example, I have eaten food. I have done my breakfast. Or I have done my homework. This is something that I have done recently. You get it? Usage number 2. Where is it, by the way? Here we go. Actions which happened in the past but have an effect in the present. Do you understand something? No? Let me give you an example. Action happened in the past, but it still has effect in the present too. For example, I have broken my arm. You know, in Urdu we call it mera bazu toot gaya. Okay? So wo bazu tootna, that happened in the past. But you know what? I still have a proof. I can still see that my arm is broken, and it is full of bandages. It's not completely recovered. It hasn't been fixed properly yet. So ऐसे actions जो कि पास में होते हैं लेकिन उनका जो evidence होता है, proof होता है, उनका effect होता है, वो present में अभी भी होता है. For them we use present perfect tense. I thought it was necessary for me to speak in Urdu. थोड़ी बहुत उर्दू भी होनी चाहिए यार. You guys might be very well sick of or fed up with English all the time, but I do love speaking English. You might have observed that already. Let's deal with here we go. Let's deal with number 3, actions which happened at some unknown time in the past. This can be known as an experience as well, like कोई experience आपने किया. For example, I ask you a question: have you ever been to London? Have you ever been to Germany? So these are called experiences. All right, if you have experienced something and you want to ask about it, or you want to share that will remain as an experience. So for sharing your experience, you use present perfect tense. All right, enough of that. I'm tired of speaking. Anyways, let's deal with the kinds of sentences: affirmative, negative, and interrogative, of course. Again, here we go. The structure: subject plus have has plus verb. V3 means verb third form, and verb third form mean, what is it? Past participle form. Okay, the third form. Okay, like for example, eat, ate, eaten. That's what we call a third form. Third form is like more common among our culture, so that is why I have used this verb form v3. All right, v3 and plus object again, has subject plus haven't, hasn't, plus v3 plus object. Then in the interrogative, have, has plus subject plus v3 plus object plus question mark. Do not forget that. Okay, here we go. Examples: I have, I, we, you, they have, he, she, it has eaten food. I, we, you, they haven't, he, she, it hasn't eaten food. Have, I, we, you, they, has she, he, she, it eaten food. Say, well, you need to change your helping verb with he, she, it. It's just something like similar to present perfect tense, where we had to do some kind of changes. So here are the changes. So there are gonna be changes with he, she, it only. We are using has with he, she, it. I hope this one is clear, right? I want to move on to another tense, present perfect continuous, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. First, we need to talk about where we use that. There were some kind of a little bit complicated and confusing examples or definition or usages of present perfect continuous tense, so I just avoided them all in order to make it a little bit easier for you. I didn't want to make this video boring, well, this is another fact that grammar is mostly boring. Unfinished actions. Number one usage: unfinished actions. Actions that are not finished, that I haven't finished so far and continued. For them we use present perfect continuous. For example, I have been let me give you a better example. For example, like I have been, yes, the current example that I'm using, I have been talking to you, I have been explaining to you these tenses for about 5 minutes, right? So this is something unfinished action. I have started explaining that I had started that in the past, and I am still explaining that, and the action hasn't finished yet. Well, that's what we call unfinished action. Do you get it? Right? I have been talking to you and explaining these tenses to you for about 5 minutes or maybe 6 minutes. So this is unfinished actions, okay? Number two is this finished actions, right? This is quite the opposite of the first one, and this is how I wanted to make you aware of all these things. All right, what do we have in finished actions? This is the same tense, but action has completed or finished already. For example, I give you an example: I'm sleeping, or I say I'm tired. I have been working all day. You see, I have been working all day. I'm sleeping. Now this action isn't finished yet, right? I'm not working right now, but I was working previously, so the action hasn't finished yet. All right, but I quit it, I stopped it for some reason, and I will continue that action later. You get it? So that is why we're gonna use, this is where we're gonna use present perfect continuous tense again. All right, this is second usage, where your work isn't finished. Okay, I can give you a better example too. My hands are aching. My hands are aching. I have been writing more than 5 pages, or I've been writing a report which consisted of more than 5 pages or 10 pages, right? So this example really doesn't mean that I have finished writing. This could mean, or this means that I was writing in the past and now I'm tired, okay, because my hands are aching and I have stopped working, I've stopped writing, and then I'm going to continue them tomorrow. This is where we use present perfect tense again. I mean present perfect continuous. Oh, really? It's really. Anyways, and another usage of present perfect continuous is since or for. We use them with since and for. It's not necessary to use them with since and for. Let me come to Urdu. Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know why I'm feeling so much tired of speaking English. अच्छा, तो हम since और for के साथ भी इस टेंस को यूज़ करते हैं. मेजॉरिटी इसी के साथ यूज़ करते हैं. इसके अलावा भी कर सकते हैं. देयर इज़ नो ऑब्लिगेशन. ठीक है. और इसको हम यूज़ करते हैं सिंस और फॉर के साथ टाइम को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए. आई थिंक हमें एक और सेपरेट वीडियो बनानी पड़ेगी जिसमें सिंस और फॉर को हम यूज़ करना उसका सिखाएं, बिकॉज देयर आर कॉम्प्लिकेशंस इन दिस सेंस. और बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट मुझे कहते भी हैं सर आई वांट यू टू टेल मी अबाउट दिस एंड डिस्क्राइब इट टू मी. तो ये टाइम फ्रेज़ को बताने के लिए हम सिंस एंड फॉर यूज़ करते हैं, जो कि हमारी थर्ड यूसेज है. जो कि मैंने यहाँ पे टाइम फ्रेज़ को ब्लू किया भी इसीलिए. अच्छा, मैंने ब्लू क्यों किया है, इसलिए किया है, मैं पहले ही बता देता हूँ. अच्छा, मैं अभी बता भी चुका हूँ कि ज़रूरी नहीं है टाइम फ्रेज़ हम प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट कंटिन्यूस टेंस में यूज़ करें हर हाल में. इट्स नॉट कंपल्सरी, नॉट एट ऑल. इट्स नॉट मैंडेटरी, नेवर. आप यूज़ करना चाहें कर लें, नहीं करना चाह रहे हैं मत करें. दैट्स ओके, कंप्लीटली ऑलराइट. लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द टेंसेस, द sentences I would say. Affirmative, negative and interrogative. In affirmative we use subject plus have been and has been. पिछले वाले टेंस में और इस टेंस में कुछ खास फ़र्क नहीं है. There's the only difference that you might find here, that you will find here for sure, is been, addition of been. Where is it, my cursor? ये जो बिन है ना, बीन जो लिखा हुआ आपको लग रहा है इसको बिन पढ़ते हैं, बस यही एडिशन है इसमें. और इसमें एक और एडिशन है कि वर्ब की थर्ड फॉर्म की बजाय आईएनजी फॉर्म यूज़ करते हैं हम इसमें. एग्जाम्पल. और फिर इसके बाद हमारा टाइम फ्रेज होता है. एग्जाम्पल, आई वी यू दे हैव बिन के साथ ईटिंग फूड फॉर 10 मिनट्स. ही शी इट हैज़ बिन ईटिंग फूड फॉर 10 मिनट्स. ठीक है. तो ये हैव बिन और हैज़ बिन प्लस आईएनजी ईटिंग फूड, ईटिंग वाली, बस ये चेंजेस हैं इसमें. इसके अलावा कुछ ख़ास नहीं है इसमें. टाइम फ्रेज के अलावा बात कर रहा हूँ. और इफ़ आई फ्रेंकली टेल यू कि टेंसेस में ऐसी कौन सी चीज़ होती है जो आपको पता होनी चाहिए, देयर इज़ ओनली वन थिंग दैट यू मस्ट नो, कि वो हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स होते हैं. इफ़ यू हैव अ गुड ग्रिप ओवर हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स, योर टेंसेस विल बी फाइन, बेटर, गुड. अदरवाइज यू विल बी हैविंग प्रॉब्लम, यू विल बी कंफ्यूज्ड. नेगेटिव पे चलते हैं. सब्जेक्ट प्लस हैवंट बीन, हैजंट बीन एंड प्लस वर्ब आईएनजी प्लस ऑब्जेक्ट प्लस टाइम फ्रेज. टाइम फ्रेज को मैंने ब्लू फिर कह रहा हूँ इसलिए किया था कि आप यूज़ करना चाहें कर लें, ज़रूरी हो तो कर लें, अदरवाइज डोंट यूज़ इट. आई वी यू दे हैवंट बिन, ही शी इट हैजंट बिन ईटिंग फूड फॉर 10 मिनट्स. देन इंट्रोगेटिव में हैव शुरू में आ जाएगा, हैव और हैज़ शुरू में आ जाएगा, फिर प्लस एंड देन सब्जेक्ट, फिर बिन, फिर प्लस वर्ब आईएनजी, फिर ऑब्जेक्ट और टाइम फ्रेज और क्वेश्चन मार्क. एग्जाम्पल, हैव आई वी यू दे, ही शी इट हैज़ इट हैज़ ही शी इट बिन. अच्छा, उन दोनों का बिन मैंने मिलाकर यहाँ लिख दिया, जो मैं यहाँ पे लिख सकता था लेकिन यहाँ लिख दिया. ये याद रखिएगा कि क्वेश्चन मार्क जब हम इंट्रोगेटिव सेंटेंस बनाते हैं तो हम हैज़ और हैव को उसके बाद जो है हम पुट कर देते हैं सब्जेक्ट. इसे हैव बीन और हैज़ बीन दोनों स्प्लिट हो जाते हैं, जैसे आपके ऊपर यहाँ देख रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे पहले हैव आया, फिर हमारे पास ऑल द प्रोनाउंस हियर, ठीक है, सब्जेक्ट आया, और उसके बाद हम बीन यूज़ करेंगे, बिन. इसी तरह अगर हैज़ आ रहा है तो हैज़ के बाद हैज़ शी ही इट बीन ईटिंग फूड फॉर 10 मिनट्स. तो ये इंट्रोगेटिव में याद रखिएगा, मे बी लिटिल ट्रिकी, कुड बी, कुड नॉट बी. अगर समझ लेंगे सो इट वॉन्ट बी ट्रिकी. कि हैव बीन और हैज़ बीन को ये स्प्लिट कर देते हैं और उसके दरम्यान हम प्रोनाउंस या जो भी सब्जेक्ट होता है पुट करके सेंटेंस बनाते हैं. ऑलराइट, आई होप दिस वन इज़ क्लियर. ऑलराइट, so my dear fellows and viewers and learners, of course, all of you, this is going to be the last tense that we're gonna do today. I didn't want to make the video longer and very longer. I wanted to make it short because इसके बहुत सारे reasons होते हैं. the reason that I kept in mind was that okay, that the video shouldn't be very long. Okay, वैसे भी grammar की चीज़ें I don't want it to be very long and boring. So थोड़ा सीखें लेकिन अच्छा सीखें और enjoy करें उसको. And again, if you find any problem, any confusion, you can let me know through the comments. I'm still eagerly waiting for your comments. For anything that you want to tell me, for your suggestions whatsoever, I welcome everything cordially. Do let me know whatever you feel about it. Okay, so we are gonna do present perfect, I mean all the 4 tenses of present in this video, and this was the last one, as I've already mentioned. And the past tense, for the past tenses, I'm going to do another video which will definitely be part 3, and of course a separate video for future tenses as well. And this is again done for your ease. All right, आप लोगों की आसानी के लिए I wanted it to be easy for you rather than making it very boring for you. Again मैं वही same word use कर रहा हूँ, boring. ये बहुत सारी चीज़ें सीखना आसान नहीं होता है, except unless you want it very eagerly or you're very curious to learn about it. Yeah, so I would really love to hear from you guys. With this, I would like to thank you and ask you to like, comment and subscribe the channel Father007 if you're new to this. Have a wonderful day.